Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, brothers and sisters. تقبل الله منا ومنكم صالح الأعمال. This is our 10th class for ethics, Islamic ethics and etiquettes. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, we have passed Alhamdulillah, a couple of lessons. We covered more than 8 topics, and today inshallah will be our 9th topic for this lessons. We start with Dua al-Faraj for the high-stellar appearance of Imam صاحب العصر والزمان عجل الله تعالى فرجه الشريف. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم كل وليك الحجة ابن الحسن صلواتك عليه وعلى آبائه في هذه الساعة وفي كل ساعة وليا وحافظا وليا وحافظا وفرعدا وناصرا ودليلا وعينا حتى تسكنه أرضك طوعا وتمتعه فيها طويلا يا رب الحسين بحق الحسين اشف صدر الحسين بظهور الحجة. Inshallah, the holy month of Ramadan has been kind to you. You have been fasting, reciting the Quran Kareem, supplicating, getting the most out of this month. It is truly a blessed month. And the topic today is, inshallah, going to help us with our a'mal as much as possible. Before I dive into the topic today, the lesson today, I'd like to remind you of what we said a couple of lessons ago. If you remember, I mentioned that we are connecting the dots. You might find one piece of the puzzle that doesn't complete for you the whole puzzle, and you might have some questions in that regard. When we had the class for Husn al-Dhan and Su' al-Dhan, there were a lot of questions. And I mentioned that there are other topics, other Islamic ethics and etiquettes that must fall in line as well for the dots to be connected, for you to have a complete picture. And this is what's happening now. One after the other, it's coming into place, and we are completing the puzzle. So today's lesson is one of those puzzles that you are placing next to each other, and you are connecting the dots. We had a class about shukr, and we did have a class about Husn al-Dhan and Su' al-Dhan. And today, there is something very important that we want to discuss. Today's lesson is about patience, sabr. Just share the screen with you. So today's lesson is about al-sabr, sabr, patience, and the importance of sabr. It is very important for a person to understand that the dots must be connected for you to have a complete picture. For them to be apart, you might have something missing here or there. So sabr is that one of that dots, one of that puzzles that you are connecting to the other. That when you have Husn al-Dhan and Su' al-Dhan, but you had your limits. This is where sabr comes in, that you have to have patience. So in your books, Akhlaq al-Adab al-Islamiyya, topic 94, you find the topic al-sabr, وهو حبس النفس عما تحب وترك الجزع عندما تكره. So you are containing your soul from what it desires. And ترك الجزع عندما تكره. And you are containing your soul for what you hate, what you don't want to participate in. وهو تحمل الإنسان لحالة حدثت له تستعدي منه التحمل والهدوء. It is something that brings you to a point that you need to be calm. لحالة حدثت له, something happened to you. تستعدي منه التحمل والهدوء. Here you have to be patient in this situation. You have to be calm in this situation. Because remember, we spoke about anger management as well. Anger management is not in one moment and that's it in your life. That you manage your anger in one particular place and you think this is it. This is one time only and I passed the test. The issue is this is going to occur again. And this is going to happen maybe a week or 2 weeks later. So here, again, you find lying right next to anger management, sabr, patience. So تحمل الإنسان لحالة, حالة something happened during the day. And you know, we all have our stress and anxiety, and we do have our work that we go to workplace or even family issues that it needs us to be patient. It needs for us to be calm to overcome any of the issues, any of the problems that we come across. ومعالجة الأمور بتعقل ولو طالت مدة هذه الحالة. What does that mean? It means that you are seeking the solution of the problem with تعقل. تعقل means what? تعقل here means that you sit down with a sane mind, finding a solution for the situation that came across you. If you look in the wording here, it's very carefully put. مدة, طالت المدة. It will take time. The time is going to be a little bit tricky here. It's not going to be in a matter of minutes. It might take days, it might take weeks, it might take months for you to come across the solution for this problem. It doesn't just happen overnight. It needs time. It's like you're growing a tree. It needs time for you to give it water, for you to care for it, for the sun to shine on it until the tree grows and can give you a fruit. So patience, tahammul, you have to be calm, you have to be patient, you have to find a solution for your problems with a sane mind. You can't just jump into conclusion. I don't know if you heard of that. There's some people just jump into conclusion. They just make a decision that later on they regret. It needs time. It needs for you to be calm. And if you remember, we spoke about anger management, that many people, they behave in a certain way that later on they regret that I lost, my position in this place. I lost my respect. No one is respecting me anymore. I did something that I shouldn't have done. And this was sabr comes in. That if situation comes to you, it really hurts you. And this is the tricky part, that this really hurts you. When it really hurts you and you have not got the means to be patient and steadfast, you're going to fail the test. And that is the reason we're speaking about this. ومعالجة الأمور, find a solution for your problems بتعقل ولو طالت مدة هذه الحالة. Even if the situation itself was for a long time, you had a problem at home, you had a problem at work, the situation, the issue it took for more than a week, 2 weeks, a month, maybe a year, you have to be patient here to overcome it. مثل تحمل المريض لمرضه وصاحب المصيبة لمصيبته. It's like a person who is sick and he must, be patient and calm with his sickness. He can't just say, you know what, I'm not going to be. Because there is no other solution. Either you're going to be patient and overcome the problem, or you just it can be, in a hurry and jump into conclusion and just do whatever you might think is going to be right, and then fail into the test. That is the part that you have to look into. That if I don't believe that this is going to be the solution for it, patience, calmness, steadfast, I'm just going to jump into problems that create more problems. وصاحب المصيبة لمصيبته. And if a person comes through a tragedy, if he finds a tragedy in his life, if he doesn't accept the tragedy, he wants to overcome the tragedy, what can he do? What can she do? If they're not going to be patient, they're not going to have sabr, they're not going to be calm, what is another solution for it? Now, if I lost a family member, because sabr comes in different places. One of them is when a tragedy strikes you. I lost my father, for example. I lost my mother. I lost my brother. I lost my wife, or I lost my son, whoever it was. Here, I can be calm and go through the problem with calmness, with patience, because it's a musibah and it comes across everyone. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says it, that you will come through musaib, you will come through tragedies. It's not going to be a life of comfort for you. You're going to have problems here and there. So وصاحب المصيبة لمصيبته وأيضا تحمله لترك الذنوب وتحمل حصول الإنسان على النعمة والاستمرار في شكر الله وطاعته وعدم معصيته والصبر من فروع الرضا بقضاء الله وقدره وهو من الإيمان بمنزلة الرأس من الجسد. So sabr is what? It's بمنزلة الرأس من الجسد. It's like a head that you need for a body, and your body you need for the head. So it is connected one to another. That it doesn't only come with tragedies, because some people, they think, oh, well, sabr, patience is only when, a tragedy strikes you, you lost someone dear to your heart, or for example, you lost, thousands on thousands of dollars, financially you were striked, or you lost a car, or you had an accident. It's not only in tragedies, it's not only in masa'ib. There's not only in that places, it's also in other situations as well. If you look at this, you find that it says that في المصائب, yes, وأيضا تحمل ترك الذنوب. Sabr, patient when dhunub come to you, sinning. When you are in a situation that it is, needed for you to be patient, have sabr in a situation that is going to bring you to a dhanb, to a sinning atmosphere. And this comes in different situations, different scenarios. For example, for a person to be a bachelor, he's not married yet. He's not married yet. Here, it is needed for this person, this individual, to be patient and look at the solution for that problem, not to jump into problems that create him more problems. He starts to sin. So for every situation, calmness, patience is needed if any of this happens. So في ترك الذنوب, avoiding sinning, and of course when tragedy strikes. So in the Holy Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions sabr, patient. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ذكر الله الصبر في القرآن الكريم في أكثر من 90 موضعا. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned patience in the Quran in more than 90 ayat. في 90 موضعا. So واستعينوا بالصبر والصلاة. This is one of the ayat. واستعينوا بالصبر والصلاة وإنها لكبيرة إلا على الخاشعين. And seek help through patience and prayer. And indeed it is difficult except for the humbly submissive to Allah. So khashia, al-khashi'in, they do have the virtues of sabr and salat. It is a virtue for a mu'min to have it, for khashia to have it. Yikun sabur, for him to be sabur, for him to be patient, and salat. وَاسْتَعِينُوا بِالصَّبْرِ وَالصَّلَاةِ, the ayah says. And seek help through patience. In what situation? In every situation. وَاسْتَعِينُوا بِالصَّبْرِ وَالصَّلَاةِ وَإِنَّهَا لَكَبِيرَةٌ إِلَّا عَلَى الْخَاشِعِينَ. And seek help through patience and prayer. And indeed, it is difficult except for the humbly submissive to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَإِنَّهَا لَكَبِيرَةٌ. It is difficult except, the ayah says, وَإِنَّهَا لَكَبِيرَةٌ إِلَّا عَلَى الْخَاشِعِينَ. وَإِنَّهَا لَكَبِيرَةٌ. It is big, it is difficult, except for the humbly submissive people to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So it is a very hard and difficult task for a person to be patient. It doesn't just come overnight. You need to really go through hardship one after another. The scenarios come through you, and then you have to overcome them for you to become what? A sabur. Another ayah says, وَلَنَبْلُوَنَّكُمْ بِشَيْءٍ مِنَ الْخَوْفِ وَالْجُوعِ وَنَقْصٍ مِنَ الْأَمْوَالِ وَالْأَنفُسِ وَالثَّمَرَاتِ وَبَشِّرِ الصَّابِرِينَ. And we will surely test you with something of fear and hunger and a loss of wealth and lives and fruits, but give good tidings to the patient. So the ayah is very clear and beautiful. وَلَنَبْلُوَنَّكُمْ بِشَيْءٍ مِنَ الْخَوْفِ وَالْجُوعِ وَنَقْصٍ مِنَ الْأَمْوَالِ وَالْأَنفُسِ وَالثَّمَرَاتِ وَبَشِّرِ الصَّابِرِينَ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in this ayah, what does he say? He reminds us that this life is not going to be a normal, comfortable, everything goes according to what you desire. No, you're going to have problems, you're going to have issues. And this is the reality of this life. That life is not for us to live for a long time. It is only temporary, and there are many problems that come across us. Everyone is going to be tested in one way or another. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in this ayah, he makes it clear. What does he say? وَلَنَبْلُوَنَّكُمْ بِشَيْءٍ مِنَ الْخَوْفِ. So we will surely test you with something of fear. Fear will strike you. Hunger will come across you. Loss of wealth, lives and fruits. And then Allah says in the end of the ayah, but give good tidings to the patient. Give good tidings to the ones who are patient, to the ones who overcome these problems. One of them is fear, another one is fear, and then there is hunger. وَنَقْصٍ مِنَ الْأَمْوَالِ. He lost his job. And today, unfortunately, in this time, there is a pandemic, there is a dark time with the COVID-19. A lot of people lost their jobs. A lot of people lost their businesses. So is that a test? Definitely it is a test. Some people, they fail the test. They can't, have the patience and overcome it. Other people, they have patience because they see that this is only temporary and this is a test and they can overcome it. وَنَقْصًا مِنَ الْأَمْوَالِ. So they lost of wealth, and then anfus and lives. Then they lost their loved ones. They lost their brothers, their sisters, and so on and so forth. وَالْأَنفُسِ وَالثَّمَرَاتِ. and fruits, and but give good tidings to the patient. وَبَشِّرَ الصَّابِرِينَ وَبَشِّرَ الصَّابِرِينَ. Good tidings to the ones who are patient, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will reward them for their patience. This is a beautiful ayah that sums it up, that we have all this that comes across us. It's either you are patient, وَبَشِّرَ الصَّابِرِينَ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, good tidings to the ones who are patient. And of course, there are the people that fail the test miserably. And the ones who have they fail the test miserably, they going to have problems for their own. If I fail the test miserably, now if I'm not going to overcome these problems, I'm just going to fight it. How am I going to fight this? Is there a way for me to bring a loved one back to life? Is there a way to bring my wealth back? Of course, there are ways that a person must go through with patience, with calmness, when they are steadfast. They don't just jump into problems, and they have ajala. They are in a hurry, and they don't have the patience. The ayah says what says for them. The ayah mentions here, وَبَشِّرَ الصَّابِرِينَ, because it is a virtue that a person, if he has it, he will be Bashir. It will be, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, we give good tidings to the ones who are patient, who are overcoming these issues. So we have different types of patience. Anwa' as-sabr. We have as-sabru ala ta'ah. We have as-sabru ala adam ma'siyatillah. We have as-sabr ala al-bala'i wal-masa'ibi wal-mashakil. So you see, there's not only the one that is for the tragedies. So when we have a friend of ours or family member who lost a loved one, we come to them and we say to them, asbar, have patience. And we give them some examples, like Imam al-Hussein salamullah alayhi in Karbala, he had patience. Like Lady Zainab salamullah alayha, she had patience. If you look at the life of Lady Zainab salamullah alayha, for example, and I told you before this, and I remind you again, we have the book and we have the role models. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave us the book and He gave us the progeny. And if you look at the hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam, the hadith by the name of Thaqalain, it is referred to as hadith of Thaqalain. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions to the Prophet that after you demise, the people, the Muslim ummah, they must follow both Quran al-Kareem and the progeny. And here the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam mentions this. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم إني تارك فيكم الثقلين كتاب الله وعترتي أهل بيتي. This beautiful hadith, if you look at it in the books of hadith, in Bahar al-Anwar, in Usul al-Kafi, and so on and so forth, you find this hadith, and of course we have it in other books as well. The Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah, they have this hadith as well. And the hadith, إِنِّي تَارِكٌ فِيكُمُ الثَّقَلَيْنِ كِتَابَ اللَّهِ وَعِتْرَتِي. Sometimes it stops right there in the books, but the completion of this hadith is this: إِنِّي تَارِكٌ فِيكُمُ الثَّقَلَيْنِ كِتَابَ اللَّهِ وَعِتْرَتِي أَهْلَ بَيْتِي مَا إِن تَمَسَّكْتُمْ بِهِمَا لَن تَضِلُّوا بَعْدِي أَبَدًا. So the Prophet of God, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, here says, مَا إِن تَمَسَّكْتُمْ بِهِمَا لَن تَضِلُّوا بَعْدِي أَبَدًا. If you don't want to go astray, go to the wrong path, then hold tight to these two, the book and my progeny. So this brings us to here, the example. We have the book, we have Quran al-Kareem that gives us the ayat, and of course we have the progeny that are the example. They are the role models. So you might think, okay, you tell me to be patient. Give me someone who was patient. I'll ask my brother, how am I going to be patient? Okay, Imam al-Hussein salamullah alayhi, in few hours in Karbala during the day of Ashura, he lost not just his brothers, he lost his brothers, he lost his sons, he lost his companions, he lost his nephews, and so on and so forth. But in the end, Imam al-Hussein salamullah alayhi, he was patient. وَتَعَجَّبَتِ الْمَلَائِكَةُ مِنْ صَبْرِهِ. Even the angels were shocked to see how patient Imam al-Hussein salamullah alayhi is. Now another person, Lady Zainab salamullah alayha. Lady Zainab, she saw whatever was happening during the day of Ashura. And on top of all this, Lady Zainab salamullah alayha, she is asked of what is the outcome of your problems. How did you find it? What do you find this? Are you now minhara, as we say in Arabic? Are you now, completely destroyed? The lady looks at this taghiya, at this tyrant, and she says to him, "Ma ra'aytu illa jamila." I did not see anything but beauty. Her patience, the patience of Imam Zain al-Abidin, the patience of the progeny, the family of Ahlul Bayt, the family of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam, Ahlul Bayt al-Asma alayhim afdhalu salati wa salam, made the revolution of Imam al-Hussein successful. And we come to other examples, inshallah. As-sabr ala ta'a. What is sabr ala ta'a? As-sabr ala ta'a is sabr ala al-ni'ma التي أنعم الله بها على الإنسان بأن يصبر على الشكر صاحب النعمة وهو الله. فيسير في طريق الاستقامة ولا ينحرف بسبب وجود النعمة وكثرتها فيبذر ماله مثلا أو تفسد أخلاقه. فيصبر على الطاعة كما يصبر على أن لا يعصي خالقه ويستمر في العبادة والصلاة لوقتها وصوم شهر رمضان المبارك. So patience to obey. So what does it say here? If Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives a wealth to an individual, one person becomes rich, multi-millionaire, multi-billionaire. You find many people, they fall into the the journey or the hall of sinning. They fall into sinning because Allah gave them wealth. When you see them being poor, they are praying, they are fasting, they are reciting Quran. But as soon as Allah gave them some money, Allah gave them some wealth, Allah made them powerful, here they fall into sinning. So here, the sabr is ala ta'ah, in obedience to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Fasting the holy month of Ramadan. Now you are fasting the holy month of Ramadan. For some of you brothers and sisters, you might be fasting more than 12, 13, 14 hours a day. So fasting here, do you need patience with it? Do you need patience to be overcoming the time of fasting? Because from the time you wake up in the morning and you are in the status of fasting, you are now abstaining yourself from drinking, from eating, from smoking, from other things that break your fast until iftar time. So for all that time, you have to have patience. Now, it might be a really hot day. It might be really, really hot. It might be really cold on the other hand. You want something that, a beverage that it's hot, that you want to calm yourself down, you want to cool yourself down. But because you are fasting, you're not gonna go and grab a drink. You're not gonna go and eat if you are hungry. You have here sabr, you have here patience. Because few hours, maybe 10, maybe 5, whatever it is, you're going to break your fast. So am I going to go and eat, or am I going to have patience? I'm going to have sabr. Another one is into praying. Another one is hajj. As-sabru ala ta'ah. Patience to obey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It is a difficult task for a person to go through it, but this is the first one. That is sabr على النعمة التي أنعم الله بها على الإنسان بأن يصبر على الشكر. That you have the attitude of gratitude. على الشكر لصاحب النعمة. To be thankful for the one who gave you the ni'mah. وهو الله سبحانه وتعالى. And it is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. To remember Allah when He gave you the ni'mah and you thank Him. فيسير في طريق الاستقامة. And he goes through a road of istiqamah, of steadfastness. وَلَا يَنْحَرِفْ بِسَبْ وُجُودِ النِّعْمَةِ. And he doesn't go astray because he was given a ni'mah. Because some people, when you give them a ni'mah, they can't handle this. And we have a story of this person, of one of the companions of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam. He was the first one in line to line up behind Rasulullah for prayer. But he was poor. He used to come to the mosque, the first person to stand behind Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam and pray and pray. One day he came to Rasulullah and he said, Ya Rasulullah, can you ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give me some ni'mah, to give me some wealth? I want to be wealthy. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave the wahi to Rasulullah that this person is not going to behave rightfully when it comes to this ni'mah. So he insisted, and he insisted to Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Rasulullah, after the prayer, he gave to this man, and after getting Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala acceptance, he gave to this person 1 dirham. And he told him, take this 1 dirham and go with it, do some business. You will become wealthy. So this person took the dirham, he went into the market. When he went into the market, sometimes it's chance as well, there was a person who was selling a sheep, and he was selling it for 1 dirham. He came to him and he said, how much are you selling this sheep? 1 dirham. So he bought the sheep. When he bought the sheep and he started walking in the market, another person came to him, another customer, and he said to him, how much are you selling that sheep? 2 dirham. He sold it for 2 dirham. So he made a profit of 1 dirham. And he went through, the day selling here, buying here, selling, buying. 1 week passed. He still comes. This person still comes and he prays the first line, Saff al-Awwal, in prayer. 1 week passed. He became, more of a wealthy person. He made some money. And another week, a month, 2 months. So he started to come late to the mosque. So he lost his position in the first line. He went to the second line because of how occupied he was, of how much he was making, and he was very busy with trading. So he became a person who comes late to the mosque. He went to the second line and the third line and the fourth, and after a while, he didn't even attend the mosque. So Rasulullah, one day after prayer, he looked around and he said, where is Fulan? Where is my, one of our friends who used to come here, pray with us, one of our companions? He said, Ya Rasulullah, he's out of the town. He's out of Medina. He had made so much of money and he has a lot of cattle that he cannot keep them in the city. So he went out of the city of Medina, and between 2 mountains, he made this big farm, and he has placed all his cattle and sheep and the camels, everything there. So Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when the verse of zakat came, he sent to him. One of the companions went to him, and he went to this man, said to him that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is ordering for every man and woman to pay zakat. What is zakat? Well, zakat is this. And he told him what zakat is and how much he has to pay. He became angry and he said, what? We have to pay tax? If we don't pay it, Muhammad is going to kill us. So he made fun of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And this man, the companion, he came to Rasulullah and he said, well, I went to him. I told him the ayah has came down, ayah al-zakat, and he refused. So Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam went to him and he said to him, you're not going to pay zakat? No, I'm not going to pay zakat. This happens to a lot of people when they are given wealth. So this is what sabr is, patience and the ta'ah. Ala ta'ah, as-sabr ala ta'ah is when you are given wealth and you are still patient. You are still fasting. You are still on the right path. You don't go to another. You don't go astray. So Rasulullah, after taking and giving with him, they started to give and take, and this person wasn't budging. He just said, no, I'm not going to give any zakat. This is my money. This is my wealth. I made it, and how am I going to give it? Why am I giving it to the poor and the needy? Let them go work as well. I was poor, I worked, and I made this money. Let them go work too. Is this tax, or are you going to kill me? Rasulullah became very upset. He said to him, okay, don't pay anything. Don't pay anything. Just pay me that 1 dirham. That 1 dirham that I gave you, remember? The first day, I gave you 1 dirham. Give me back my 1 dirham. He said, Ya Rasulullah, ask me for more. He said, I did, for the zakat. Pay some for the zakat. No. If it's for you, I will pay you. This is your 1 dirham. He gave it to Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And that 1 dirham was the blessing. That 1 dirham was the blessing from Rasulullah to make his wealth. But this person, he lost the way. He did not have sabr ala ta'ah. He fall into the path that is wrong. And here this happened. So he gave the 1 dirham to Rasulullah. He said, this is 1 dirham. You can leave now. Rasulullah left. And he looked around. This was the last time this person has any of this wealth. So the next day, one of his cattle dies and another one dies. A drought comes to Medina, very severe drought. And he starts to lose his cattle and his wealth. He became once again poor. And he went back to the mosque and he started praying and he found his position again in the first line. Some people, they can take this. Some they can't. And that's why what we have. As-sabru ala ta'a, patience to obey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and keep obeying Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, even if you overcome, a wealth. You come to a wealth. Here you have to have patience. Another one is this, as-sabru ala adam ma'siyatillah. أن يصبر بأن لا يغتاب ولا يكذب ولا يتكبر ولا يرتكب المحرمات. This is another one. Patience that you have, that is required from you when it comes to معصية الله. أن يصبر بأن لا يغتاب. He has patience for him not to backbite, for him not to lie, for him not to يتكبر, to have ego, to have pride. ولا يرتكب المحرمات, and he doesn't sin. عن أمير المؤمنين عليه أفضل الصلاة والسلام, the commander of the faithful says, اصبروا على عمل لا غنى لكم عن ثوابه واصبروا على عمل لا طاقة لكم على عقابه. Once again, a beautiful hadith by the commander of the faithful, Amir al-Mu'mineen, Ali ibn Abi Talib عليه أفضل الصلاة والسلام, where he says, اصبروا على عمل لا غنى لكم عن ثوابه. اصبروا, have patience on a amal, on a deed that you cannot go through it or through life without its reward. For example, when it comes to Salat al-Layl, Salat al-Layl is patience. You have to wake up late at night and then you have to pray 11 rak'ah. Or another example is Du'a Jawshan al-Kabir. Du'a Jawshan al-Kabir is a lengthy dua. But the reward of it, the reward of the dua makes it deserving for you to wake up in the dead of night or stay up all day and all night during the nights of Qadr, Layali al-Qadr, and you sit down and recite Du'a Jawshan al-Kabir. Another dua bi Hamza Thamali. It's a long dua, but the reward of it is, that's what makes it what غنى, the Imam says, على عمل لا غنى لكم عن ثوابه. So the reward of it makes it deserving for you to wake up in the dead of night to recite Du'a al-Faraj, Du'a al-Nudba, Du'a Kumail, Du'a Jawshan al-Kabir, Du'a bi Hamza Thamali, Salat al-Layl. So those a'mal, the long a'mal Dawood, it needs your patience. It needs your patience. But while you're building, the reward that you're getting from the a'mal needs your patience, needs for you to be strong and go through it. Another one, وَاصْبِرُوا عَلَىٰ عَمَلٍ لَا طَاقَةَ لَكُمْ عَلَىٰ عِقَابِهِ. And have patience. Don't go through amal, a deed, a sin, that you cannot have the taqa on its punishment. You cannot go through the punishment of that sin. So one part is what? The one part is reward, another part is punishment. It needs both. Reward needs patience. If you want rewards, you need patience. And if you want not to go through punishment of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you also need patience. The hadith again, I recite this: اصبروا على عمل لا غنى لكم عن ثوابه واصبروا على عمل لا طاقة لكم على عقابه. This is the one that we come across. This is the one we always talk about. This is the one we always remember sabr with. And that is sabr على البلاء والمصائب والمشاكل. Sabr when it comes, we remember sabr, patient when we are struck by a bala, tragedy, by a misfortune, or a problem. Here we need sabr. But it's not only that. If you remember, we mentioned the other two. This one comes, the last one, and this is the one that it's always you come across, but it's not the only one. فكل إنسان يعاني من هذه الأمور فإن أراد الراحة في الدنيا والثواب في الآخرة فعليه أن يصبر وسلم أمره إلى الله عز وجل ويتوكل عليه ويرضى بقضاء الله وقدره ويحاول أن يعالج البلاء بتعقل وهدوء. So every man, every woman, they will come across many problems in their lives. And if you want raha, if you want comfort in this life also, because a person who's patient in this life also, he will have the comfort because he's patient. He lets everything go calmly and he deals with it at his time. He doesn't just jump into and dive into problems. So, ala al-bala. So throughout time, the bala, the tragedy that comes to you, the masa'ib that comes to you, it will be easing on you. The pain, it will ease. But if you, from day one, you fall into, of the mishaps and the problems, you're not going to fail. You're not going to pass the test. فكل إنسان, every man, every woman, يعاني من هذه الأمور. It's not just one person or another. You might think, well, it's just me. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala didn't do any of these bad things to other people. It's just me going through it. No, everyone else is going through it. Everyone else is going through different problems. If you, at this moment, go to the hospital and you go to the ward of the people, they have, for example, they have cancer. You can see, you can look around. They have cancer. What is needed from them? Patience. They have to have patience to overcome that, to go through this, painful task for them to be successful, to, be recovering. They have to have patience. You go to another level, you find people that are dying. They're taking their last breath. So the patient is needed from their family, from their friends. They see their loved one just passing away. So here, patience again is needed. So you find this around you, everywhere. Around you, you find people losing their jobs, losing their houses, losing their loved ones, losing, something so dear to the heart. So patience is needed in this situation. الإمام الصادق عليه أفضل الصلاة والسلام من ابتلى من المؤمنين ببلاء فصبر عليه كان له مثل أجر ألف شهيد. The Imam, our sixth Imam, Salamullah alayhi, says that if a person has patience when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has brought to him a tragedy, ابتلى من المؤمنين, bala comes across him, and he has sabr, he has patience, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives him the reward of 1,000 shaheed, 1,000 martyred, shuhada, martyrs. من ابتلى من المؤمنين ببلاء فصبر عليه كان له مثل أجر ألف شهيد. And the result of giving into the desires and falling into the problems, الجنة محفوفة بالمكاره والصبر. فمن صبر على المكاره في الدنيا دخل الجنة. وجهنم محفوفة باللذات والشهوات. فمن أعطى نفسه لذتها وشهوتها دخل النار. He sums it up, the Imam, سلام الله عليه, Imam al-Baqir, عليه أفضل الصلاة والسلام, when he says, الجنة محفوفة بالمكاره والصبر. So the people, they are patient with their problems and the tragedies and so on and so forth. They have patience. فمن صبر على المكاره في الدنيا دخل الجنة. Whoever is patient with the makarih. Makarih means something you don't like. Something you don't like. And you have to have patience. They enter paradise. They enter paradise. And on the other hand, وَجَهَنَّمْ مَحْفُوفَ. And Jahannam, the inferno, the hell fire is filled with people. They fall into giving into the desires. So they don't have patience. And you hear this sometimes from the people. They say, just go through it. Just do it. Just have fun. If it's durable adultery, just go have fun. Don't worry about it. If it's a drink, just go. And some of them, they have a bucket list. They have a bucket list of the things they want to do before they pass away. And if you look at the bucket list, it's mostly haram. For example, they're going to have one glass of wine from New Zealand. They want to go all the way to New Zealand in a winery and have it there. And some of them want to go south of France. They want to have some alcohol there. It's all, you find this, unfortunately, on the bucket list of theirs. Or they want to do something that's, haram task. They want to go through it because they want to find the pleasures with that. I think, well, this is the pleasures with it. And I want to see the pleasures of this world with going through this laddat, this shahawat. And it's a temporary laddat. It's going to be for moments and it will pass away. But they don't understand this. That's why the hellfire, it is filled with people that give in to the desires. They give in to their, to what their laddat are and shahawat are, for their cravings. And they fall into this pit of sinning because what they want to do is they want to have good time in this life. And they think this, well, just do it. I don't know if you've seen it, the slogan for Nike, just do it. For many people, this is what they think, that just do it. Everything that comes through us, just go and do it. For whatever you desire, just go and have fun. So Imam al-Baqir alayhi salatu wasalam makes it clear here, for the people, they unfortunately, they fail the test. They give in to the desires. And of course, the Jannah, paradise, is filled with people that they overcome the makarih and the masa'ib. They have patience when they are struck by all of this. من نتائج الصبر. So some of the results of sabr. So now you say, be patient, be calm. So what are the nata'ij? What are the rewards for it? أن كل واحد منا بحاجة إلى صبر لكي يستطيع أن يعيش في هذه الدنيا القصيرة المليئة بالمشاكل والمصائب. Every one of us, me, you, whoever you think of, they need sabr, they need patience to live this life. And this life is a temporary life, because what is the other outcome for it? If you don't want to have sabr, okay, you don't want to have patience, you want to scream, you want to fight, you want to be angry, what is the solution for this? Is that going to be the solution for your problem? No. With patience, you find solutions. With sabr, you find solutions. With calmness, you find solutions. With steadfastness, you find solutions. But with becoming angry, with diving into problems. You might think, I'm going to fight this with my best ability. You cannot fight it. In the end of the day, you might fall into a pit of more problems, into a pit of more sinning, of more dhunub. The Imam Ali Abdullah Salatu Wasalam said, the commander of the faithful, as-sabr shaja'ah. And we have this hadith from a person who is the most bravest knight Islam has seen. The bravest and the most courageous man on the face of the earth, Amir al-Mu'mineen. That says sabr, patience is shaja'ah. Imam Ali himself, did he have patience? So here you find these brothers and sisters, and we have to always remind ourselves, is that we have this hadith from people, they went through life and it wasn't easy. It was difficult problems, tragedies, but they had patience. Amir al-Mu'mineen salamullah alayhi, he had patience. Amir al-Mu'mineen salamullah alayhi, 25 years, he had to be patient. 25 years, he had to see that his haqq, his right, is taken away from him. He had to see the martyrdom of his wife, his dear wife, Sayyidina Sa'il al-Alamin, Fatimat al-Zahra. He had to see of how the people that treat him, how they come to him, how they talk to him. But yet, Amir al-Mu'mineen, salamullah alayhi, he was patient. He has sabr. So Amir al-Mu'mineen, when he says as-sabr shaja'ah, when he tells you that patience is shaja'ah, that for you to be brave, you have to be patient. And for a person to be patient, he's brave. So he knows what he's talking about. He went through it. It's not like a person, he just tells you, textbook. He just comes and reads for you a hadith here and there. He himself, he doesn't go through any of these problems. Amir al-Mu'mineen went through them. Another mithal, another example is the example of al-Mu'mineen, Sayyida Khadija bint Khuwaylid, salamullah alayha. And these days we are going through the martyrdom, the demise of Lady al-Mu'mineen Khadija bint Khuwaylid. Lady Khadija has a fascinating life, and I make it very short, inshallah. This woman, she came on her wedding night with Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam, and gave away all her wealth to the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam. All of her wealth, she gave it to the Prophet. The people of Mecca, they started to make fun of her, that you married the yatim, the orphan of Quraysh, yatim Quraysh, or yatim Arab. He is orphan from both sides, mother and father. And on top of that, you are wealthy. She was referred to as Queen of Arabia, Queen of Arabia, because of her wealth. Whoever wanted to go for a business trip, for trade, they come to her and they take a loan from her. And she invested in all of the caravans. They go for trade, for business, to Damascus, to Yemen. So she had her hand in every business. And this woman, Lady al-Mu'mineen, Khadija salamullah alayha, was the wealthiest woman, wealthiest individual in the Arabian Peninsula. So when she married Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam, she gives all her wealth to Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam. And this is way before Rasulullah announced his prophethood. You might think, well, because Rasulullah was Rasulullah, he announced his prophethood. No, this is when there was difficulty. It was problems. And her wealth is hers. But she comes on her wedding night. She gives everything she has to Rasulullah. She says, this is all of my wealth. And she hands it into Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, the keys of her safe. She hands it into Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, and she goes through these types of harassment from people. People, they talk with her very, very harshly of how are you living this life? You giving all of your belonging, all of your wealth to an orphan who is a poor person. She did not care for them. And at the time of her giving birth to Lady Fatima al-Zahra salamullah alayha, the ladies that once they came to her begging for some loan for their husbands, now when she tells them to come over to help her, midwives to come and help her, they refuse. And she is there all alone giving birth to Lady Fatima al-Zahra salamullah alayha. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala rewards her by sending the ladies, Asiya, bint Muzahim, and Maryam al-Adra. They come to her and they assist her. And Canaan and another woman comes, the sister of Musa ibn Imran. They all come and they help her to give birth to Lady Fatima al-Zahra salamullah alayha. This woman, she gave everything she had to Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. She invested all her wealth with Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. With her patient, she came to a place when Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, after her demise, when she passed away, one day he was sitting among his wives and a woman came in. This woman was the sister of Khadija, al-Mu'mineen salamullah alayha, by the name of Hala. Rasulullah, he stood up and he respected her. And when she sat down, Rasulullah spoke with her very nicely and he respected her and he rewarded her. He gave her some gifts. So when she left, one of Rasulullah's wives, and I don't mention her name, she became very upset. And she said to Rasulullah, God gave you who is much younger, much prettier. And that woman, the old woman, she referred to Khadija, al-Mu'mineen, she passed away, she's gone. So why are you still remembering her when her sister comes in here? Rasulullah became very upset. And he said to her, Wayhaki, how dare you say such a thing? Allah did not give me anyone better than this woman. This woman that passed away, Lady Khadija, al-Mu'mineen, no one was given me, no one came after her that is anything close to what she was. آمنت بي حين كفر بي الناس. She came and she submitted to Islam when everyone was against me. It's not just by saying, I don't believe in your religion. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam was harassed. Rasulullah was tortured. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam was spat on. He was hit. He was punished for something that he came to give them, to get them to the right path. They punished him, Rasulullah. They said, why, how dare you come and defy our gods, and you have no right to do such a thing. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam had to go through patience, had to have patience in these situations. With her beside me, Lady al-Mu'mineen Khadija, I overcome all these problems. آمنت بي حين كفر بي الناس. She came and she submitted to my religion, to Islam, when everyone was against me. And on top of that, she was right next to me when everyone was against me. When tragedies came to me, she was there next to me, helping me. That shows how important it is for a wife to be with her husband, that she was there supporting me. So, and Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam says, and Allah gave me only from her a child. Allah gave me only from her a child, and that is Lady Fatima al-Zahra, Mu'mineen Khadija, therefore becomes the mother, the grandmother of all the Imams. And of course, she becomes the grandmother of all of the Sada. So Allah rewarded her with that in this life, that the lineage of the Imams, they come from her, as well as Lady Fatima al-Zahra salamullah alayha. And on top of that, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala rewarded her in this life as well when he gave fadak to Lady Fatima al-Zahra wa ati dhal qurba haqqahu. So al-Mu'mineen, Sayyida Khadija bint Khuwaylid is a great example that this woman had patience. Even though she was the wealthiest woman, she gave everything to Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam with her sabr, with her patience. Today, we remember her as being this great woman. ما بعد الصبر إلا الفرج. فرض الإنسان بقضاء الله وقدره وصبره على البلاء يؤدي ذلك به إلى faraj. So after the patience, after you have patience, there is going to be relief. There is going to be faraj. After all this, you're going to have faraj. So this is going to come after you go through patience. It's not just going to come after. You might think, well, it's going to be a day or two and that's it. It's a hard time for you to reach that part. صبر الإنسان في طاعة الله وعدم معصيته والاستمرار في شكر النعمة التي أنعم الله بها عليه يؤدي ذلك إلى زيادة النعم الإلهية إليه. And we spoke about that when we came through the topics of shukr in two parts. Here you have to have patience في طاعة الله, in obedience of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah azza wa jal. And then you find this, the reward of it, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, on top of all this, Allah increases your substance. So with the time of tragedy, we have a lot of examples. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alam. You have the examples of the prophets and the imams. We have the example of Prophet, they call him Prophet Ayub. There is referred to as Prophet Job. Prophet Ayub, alayhi afdalu salati wassalam, he was the prophet that is known as the prophet of patience. After all was happening to him, all of the problems, all of the tragedies, he lost his sons, he lost his children, he lost his family members, he lost his wealth, his cattle, his farmlands. He still was patient and he did not fall. He did not go through the test as a failure. No, he was patient, he was successful, and Shaitan, Iblis al-Abalisa, was testing him after asking God that I want to see that this Nabi of yours, this servant of yours, when now he has all of this na'am, he have all these children and all of this wealth, he said Alhamdulillah, but let me see if tragedy strikes him. Let's see how he behaves. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he gave him to Shaitan the means to test him. So first his children died. Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. Allah gave me children and he took them away from me. And then his farmland, his cattle, one after the other, he's losing them. He was still patient. Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. To the part he himself became sick. That the hadith says, from one part of his hand, of his arm, ants come in, worms enter, and the other part they exit. But still, he was patient and he overcame all of those problems. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, for 23 years, he was patient. They did not respect him. They called him Sahirun Majnoon. They threw rocks at him. They threw rubbish at his head and his body. And he was patient. And he was still saying, Ummati, Ummati, Ummati. He went through all of that with strong patience. And that's how Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, you find today that Islam is the second largest religion with his patience. وَإِنَّكَ لَعَلَى خُلِقٍ عَظِيمٍ, falls down with patience. When you have the best of akhlaq, you have it with patience. Because you must be patient, you must be a person with sabr to go through life with good akhlaq. Amir al-Mu'minin, we mentioned Amir al-Mu'minin also, with patience. And then Imam al-Hasan al-Mujtaba with the tragedies, and Imam al-Hussein salamullah alayhi. So, of course, with the other Imams and other prophets, if you look at the stories, brothers and sisters, and I ask you to have a quick glance at them, you find that they showed the patience. They were patient with their lives. They were sabur. They had sabr. They had calmness, and they overcome the problems with that. We don't fall into problems. We don't lose our path. We don't lose our place in life and in religion if we fall into, problems and we don't have patience. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala rewards the ones who have patience. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, Wallahu yuhibbu as-sabirin. And Allah loves the ones who are steadfast, who are patient, who have the virtue of becoming the ones who are with sabr. وَاصْبِرُوا إِنَّ اللَّهَ مَعَ الصَّابِرِينَ. And be patient. Indeed, Allah is with the patient. Allah is with the ones who are patient. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives them a strong heart. And if they overcome these problems, they go through them, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala rewards them, and Allah loves the ones who are patient. جعل الله من الصابرين وجعلنا الله من المؤمنين وجعل الله وإياكم من أصحاب الإمام الحجة سلام الله عليه. We go through some questions and we conclude these lessons, brothers and sisters. Thank you for your time once again. Assalamu alaikum wa alaikum assalam. One of the sisters by the name of Atiya Fatima, she's asking for the book. The one I suggested, Akhlaq Adab Islami, is in Arabic. She's asking for one in English. Inshallah, I will send you some text. There are some articles here and there, and there are some books. They don't have the whole topics. I did have a look before, and even before I started this class, with the English translation or anything that it's only English. Unfortunately, we don't have anything that goes through all of these topics in English. But inshallah, I will put some links on the Telegram page of the books. They're similar or might be covering some of the topics, inshallah. Brother Rahman Hashimi says, kindly please add your older lectures and lectures. I feel like I need to listen to them. Yeah, all the old lessons are on the YouTube channel. If you go to YouTube channel, you just type in Hasan Almodarresi on my YouTube channel in the ethics class. What do you do if you realize you failed a test and was not patient? We come across this. We're not ma'sumin, we're not infallibles. We might fail tests here and there, but we learn. When we fail, we learn how to behave in another place. It doesn't mean that we just say, I give up. We go through life failing and passing, failing and passing. But in the end of the day, when we learn how to live our life in a certain way, that we need to be patient to overcome this. For example, for a person to become a doctor, he goes and he enrolls into the uni. Even before then, since they are young, if they want to become a doctor, they want to become engineers, since high school, they have to work hard to get good grades and then find a good uni and then apply to the uni, enroll in it, go there for some orientations, some one-to-one with the teachers and the professors and the doctors, and then see what I need to do, and then organize the whole task of this for 8 years. It's a long, long, long task. And then after all the studying and the practice and all of that, they become doctors. So it needs patience. Patience is needed in every situation. If you want to be successful in life, the key of success is patience. You go through life with patience. If I want today to the uni and I tell them, give me a PhD. Why? Well, I can't have I can't have patience. I need it today. They laugh at me. They just kick me out of the uni because it needs time. It needs patience. Nights and nights you have to sit down, buried in the books, read chapter after chapter. Even when a person wants to become engineer, even a person who wants to become a mujtahid, a jurist, the maraja that we have, the ulama that we have, uh, some of them 30 years, 40 years, some of them. They are studying every hadith, they're studying every narration, every ayah, every verse, for them to come and say, well, this hadith means this. They give you their understanding on the hadith, the outcome of the hadith. They give you a fatwa. It's not just by them looking at it for once and then that's what they give you. That's why it needs people to be Ahl al-Ilm. It needs people to have patience. It needs time for them to become fuqaha, for them to become mujtahideen. So when you fail a test, it's not the end of time. Look how you can pass another one. And of course, repent for the one that you failed in. Assalamu alaikum wa alaikum salam. One of the brothers, Muhammad or Mahmoud, I think, Mahmoud Ghassani says that may God bless you, brother and your family. Should a Mirza say it from his mother wear a black turban or not? Some of the Maraja, they say yes, it's fine. For example, Sheikh Wahid al-Khurasani believes that Mirza is also son of Fatima al-Zahra, salamullah alayha. But wearing black turban is the one who is a son of Fatima al-Zahra, salamullah alayha, from the father. Father to father to father to Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, to Fatima al-Zahra, of course, to Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. So Mirza, some they say it's fine for them to wear black turban, others they say it's not fine. Okay, one of the questions from one of the brothers or sisters says that just a question I had, if you forget to do niyyah for wudu, is it okay or you have to do wudu again for like salah, reading Quran? No, you don't have to say the niyyah. The niyyah, the intention, as long as you get up and go to the bathroom, to go to the tap and start doing wudu, that is the niyyah itself. You have the idea, you have the intention to do wudu, and that suffices. Even with the siyam of Shahr Ramadan al-Mubarak, fasting during the month of Ramadan, the first day, you just have the intention that I'm going to fast the holy month of Ramadan. Qurbatan Allah Ta'ala. That's enough. One time, it's enough. The niyyah is not needed for you to utter it. You don't need to say it. As long as you have the intention, it's enough. Inshallah, I try my best to do as much as English translations as I can. Some of the brothers saying, please write the English translations, please. Inshallah, I write the English translation as much as I can. Sometimes the phrases, please accept my apology when it comes to some of the phrases in Arabic that it's really hard to find the English translations for it. Arabic is a big language and it has a lot of meanings and the words, and you cannot find the great, maybe close, but not the exact meaning of it. Inshallah. How are we to know what we are waiting for? So one of the questions from iPhone, I don't know the name of the person, but it says iPhone here. How are we to know what we are waiting for and patiently yet eagerly pleading Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for it? What is it meant for us? It's not a bad thing, of course, I'm patiently waiting for, but of course we never know what is distance for us. Jannatul Khuld. paradise. This is one of the things you are waiting for. This is one of the things you are living your life, passing the test for. Um, if you look at it, success. I give example of a doctor. He needs to go through years of studying to become a doctor. The reward of it, he's a doctor. The money he makes, for example, money, when it comes to money, people, they think of money more than anything else, than the title, more than anyone else. Maybe others, they make it in other places. For everyone who wants to be successful, everyone to be successful, they have to have patience. They have to go through life with patience. Um, if you look at the big tycoons, business tycoons, every one of them, they went through life, hardship, and they had patience for it to become this great company, for it to become this great. He becomes a great author, he becomes a great actor, or he becomes a great inventor, or whatever it is. They need patience for this life that we live in, for the bigger picture. We're not talking only about success in this life. We're talking about the success in the next life, and that is if a person goes through this life with patience, in عند الطاعة, عند المعصية, عند الطاعة when it comes to obedience of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, عند المعصية when it comes to the sinning, he holds back. He says, no, 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 I'm not going to fall into the pit of sinning. I'm going to have patience. And عند المصائب وعند عند المصائب, and when it comes to the tragedies, he also has patience. The reward of this all is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala rewards them with paradise. Inshallah. One of the brothers again says, Salaam alaikum wa alaikum assalam. Brother, kindly add on Telegraph or recommend any basic books for us to develop and do further research and study. Inshallah. Most of the what you see here today and other lessons, I do get them from different sources, different lectures, different books. Mostly are in Arabic. You hardly find in English. Unfortunately, there hasn't been a translation of them. But inshallah, whatever I find, I will post them on Telegram. There is other lessons they are posting. I don't want to overwhelm you with putting a lot of details there. Some people that might be annoyed, but inshallah, I try my best to do all this, inshallah. One of the brothers is saying he's off topic. Yes, it's fine. He went in university and have done research on two careers, but still are unsure which one to pursue. That's normal. Everyone is like that. I don't think everyone knows from day one what they want to do. It's some people they more than two, three, four maybe. Can one do an istikhara for this situation? Istikhara, yes, you can do istikhara. There is two raka'at for istikhara as well. If you pray these two raka'at, you do istikhara, Allah leads you to the one you more comfortable with. And don't forget, whenever you want to choose something in uni or in life, see what you love, what makes you tick. And in the long run, you're going to just keep doing it. And then you will go and pursue that. Thank you, brothers and sisters, for your time. I appreciate it. And some here, there's other questions here I just saw. Ahsantum, yes. Yes, I checked your question, the brother. I don't know, it's a brother or sister iPhone. Yeah. I do apologize if I don't go through some of them. It's not, it's just the time, it's against us. Thank you very much, brothers and sisters, for your time. Inshallah, I see you. Today is your Tuesday, my Wednesday. And inshallah, I see you in our next class. This was our 10th class. So we finished our 10th class together. Inshallah, I see you in our next class. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. اللهم قل لوليك الحجة ابن الحسن صلواتك عليه وعلى آبائه في هذه الساعة وفي كل ساعة وليا وحافظا وقائدا وناصرا ودليلا وعينا حتى تسكنه أرضك طوعا وتمتعه فيها طويلا يا رب الحسين بحق الحسين اشفي صدر الحسين بظهور الحجة. Don't forget me in your dua. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.